I just think that black shows are put on the chopping block because white audiences are not tuning into them.
Period. Hello, friends. We're back. We're Black and Curious. I'm Kendrin.
Sorry. Hi, friends. It's Deja. Choking over
Welcome.
here.
Welcome. If you've never been here before, we do a cross section of pop culture and real life. Today, we're coming to you with a deep dive of sorts on a Bravo topic. So, we have been informed, we as in the public at large, has been informed that Summer House Martha's Vineyard is on pause. They have not been renewed for a season 3 as of yet. And
so sad and unfortunate because that is the road to being canceled.
It really is. So I saw somebody on Twitter talking about how Bravo, it just doesn't do well with black non-housewife shows. And they did there's a whole thread of Bravo non-housewives shows, black shows that have been canceled. And
my thing is, so before we even run down the list, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I'm lost on is how Summer House Martha's Vineyard got a second season and Candy and the Gang didn't.
Yes.
Candy and the Gang crazy to me.
Is in the list, honestly. So yeah, we wanted to have a conversation about that because I feel like a few things are missing. I don't know if that's the root cause of it, but I do feel like a few things have been amiss with how Bravo is doing these non-black housewife shows. Do you want to run through a few of the shows that were our favorites that got canceled? Let's do it.
So, as I made mention to Candy and the Gang, Southern Charm, New Orleans.
Yes, that was the one. That was the one because they were actually bringing it a little bit.
And Southern Charm, New Orleans was predominantly black, but they also had a white couple that was a part of the show. And in the second season, they were bringing more of that storyline into the show to make it a little bit more of a multicultural cast.
100%.
Also Married to Medicine, LA.
Yes.
Those are the three that I know of top of mind that I can think of. Was there anything else?
This one I have forgot about. Chef Roble and Co.
Oh yeah.
Which was a good time. Love Match Atlanta, which was a matchmaking show. I wasn't crazy about that one. I was kind of some of these shows I was kind of on, so it was like, yeah, sure. There was a long list. I'm gonna leave the link down below. Invite Only Cabo. I didn't watch that one. To Rome for Love, I did watch that one.
I did watch that too, but I feel like the matchmaker girl lady went off to do something else.
Okay. Blood, Sweat, and Heels, which I think there was
that was so good. They had 2 or 3 seasons. Maybe it was 2.
I think it was 2. But I also think a lot was going on with them off the scenes, so maybe that's part of the reason why they didn't renew.
Have a third. It was really good, but I think that they got renewed. But I feel like Daisy passed away.
Yes,
and Demetria dropped it. And I don't think that they wanted to try to rebuild like a whole new, like reinvent the wheel, basically.
Absolutely.
Blood, Sweat, and Heels was really good, though.
Blood, Sweat, and Heels was that girl, to be honest.
It was very good. They need to like reboot that with a whole new group.
Yeah. So I have thoughts about this. Have you thoughts? Would you like to begin?
I mean, I just think that black shows are put on the chopping block because white audiences are not tuning into them.
Period.
And that is what they deem as like top tier viewership.
Absolutely.
And it's unfortunate because I'll even go so far as to say it's a middle America type thing, because I feel like this is stuff that has been said before, or at least that I read about the shows that we made mention of, them not really getting attracting their attention, or those audiences feeling as though they could not relate to these casts, to these
Absolutely.
shows.
That was
And
my
it's
top line of
really
all of this.
unfortunate.
You just hit the nail on the head as far as I'm concerned. I feel like Black people, we will watch white shows, but they will not watch Black shows.
No.
Not like that.
Racism.
This is another aside. This is a funny aside, kind of, but not really, because it relates. So my mom, whenever we would buy gifts for Christmas, like, you know, for charity, for like the Angel Tree or whatever charity she was a part of, she was like, I'm always buying Black dolls, because they'll give a Black girl a white doll, but they won't give a white girl a Black doll. So I want to make sure my Black doll is going to go to a Black baby.
And please believe that's what's happening.
It's giving very much that of like, you guys thinking that the ratings are going to be the same, and they're not, because at the end of the day, a lot of middle America, like you're saying, or even like the frat, even any of the like the white enclaves that probably watch Bravo, they're not going to relate to the Black shows the way they relate to the white shows. So the ratings are automatically going to be a little bit lower. And I feel like that if Bravo truly wants to be diverse and drive diversity and like have this sort of energy where everyone's welcome, and that they're building shows around these people, they're going to have to accept that ratings, they might just be a little bit lower.
Hello? But my thing is, even when the ratings are hella high, because I know for sure Candy and the Gang ratings was high.
Yes.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Because it was entertaining. It was giving jigaboo. But like, either way, people were entertained by it.
Yeah.
Well,
here's the other thing. I think you have to have a strong lead-in for it as well. Yeah. You have to have a good lead-in. I don't think that the lead-in for Candy and the Gang was it Housewives? Or it was Candy. It was Candy. So there was a familiar face, like somebody that they knew from Housewives of Atlanta.
But this might be rumorville, but I totally heard that allegedly Candy and the Gang was coming back.
I heard that too.
And I'm assuming it's because Candy was like, well, I'm not coming back to Housewives, so the only way you're going to get me back is Candy and the Gang. Because like...
It's giving LVP, I'm not coming back to Housewives of Beverly Hills, but I'll give you this other show.
Yes.
If you want me to be around.
Yeah.
You know? But again,
and I support that. Do that shit, Candy. We like that show. Them people was funny.
But I wonder if you put on like Summer House, Martha's Vineyard behind regular Summer House, if it would have done better. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know if it had a proper lead in. I don't remember what was on before it. The first part of it was
Potomac, or it was always paired with a housewife show, but it was either Potomac or Atlanta.
Yeah, and then it was Jersey, I think, and then it was coming on after Jersey, right?
I don't know that part.
The last couple of weeks?
Because I did not watch Jersey. I don't. So, I watch through Peacock, so I don't know what the lineup is on cable anymore. I understand what you mean. Yeah.
So to me, that didn't feel like a proper lead-in. So I feel like Martha's Vineyard, Summer House Martha's Vineyard, was not necessarily set up for success. I heard that they had to fight for a reunion, which was in the clubhouse with Andy. It wasn't even like a properly staged reunion, which I understand. Like a lot of shows don't get that, like out the gate, they don't get that proper reunion. Even with my Real Housewives of Miami, I think they had a clubhouse reunion like the first season, maybe.
And I think Vanderpump did too.
Yeah. So I didn't think that was a big deal. No, but I heard that they had to fight for it. And also,
because they didn't get one the first season.
They did not. And also, we talked last time we did one of these, Preston mentioned that, hey, we're in an area where there isn't a lot going on. So if maybe they put them in a different location, there would be more going on and more. I feel like it always helps when there's people like moving in and out of the house, or like when, they're meeting people outside and maybe bring them back to the house to like kind of mix up the energy. And
Yeah.
because they were in this very like isolated Martha's Vineyard place versus the Hamptons, like there just wasn't a lot going on. So I don't know that they were necessarily set up for success. I understand what they were trying to do as far as putting them in a traditionally Black space, but it was just kind of
But
like,
the neighborhood and everywhere they went was white.
well,
From what we could see in the background, I didn't see no other specks of color outside of the cast.
right. But there are traditional Black parts, I feel like, of Martha's Vineyard, which
Yes.
was the point of them going there. But as far
Yeah.
as the bigger context, it didn't seem like it was working. And then I will say something that I thought about a lot this season, especially when they were having Nick's party, and we talked about this with Simon and Nick a little bit, and Simon's carryings on. I feel like maybe they're trying to produce these Black casts the same way they produce the white cast. And there's just certain things you're not going to be able to get out of Black people in a public space that you would be able to get out of white people. So for instance, like a prime example with Nick, you can see Nick holding his own and kind of trying to keep it together, even during the accusations of him being touchy-feely or a little bit handsy or whatever. You can see him trying to like keep it together because he is not trying to be this angry Black guy. You know what I mean?
Not on television. Yeah,
not on television.
very, very
whereas
clear
I feel
about
like
his persona and
right.
how he's
Whereas
perceived.
where I feel like on like the Summer or Winter House, I think it is, like we know Craig and we know Austin, and they would have just lost their shit. Like they would have just flipped out.
But that's a freedom that they have that we do not.
Which is my point. Like you cannot produce these shows in the same way and try to get the same thing out of people, because there are other implications and other bigger things that are at play.
Maybe we should do some research to see like who the producers are of these casts.
Yeah.
To get a better understanding of what all is going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we can see what, like, who is in the background leading these setups.
Yeah.
Because that would make a difference in what it is that we're seeing. I'm intrigued enough to do some research.
Yeah, to do a little bit of digging. And also, like, we saw even at Nick's party, like how, you know, they were trying to give like a little cultural cutaways when they were talking about Greek life, and they were talking about other things that are important within like the Black community, but they did it as like little cutaways. And then they spent a lot of time that episode talking about the white guy in the flamingo outfit. Like,
yeah, that could have just been cut out, even though that was some of the drama per se. This episode did not have to be about chaos and confusion. It could have just been,
it could have been about Black joy
and just be Black joy. Yeah.
And even Preston, when he was in the episode with the Brooke Ashley, when he did his little interview with her or whatever, she asked outright, she was like, it didn't look like y'all had fun. Did y'all have fun? And he was like, yeah, we actually did have fun, but you know, they wanted to show conflict and drama and all the things. And it was like, I feel like that was a moment of them just having joy and having fun, and maybe they weren't going crazy or getting over the top drunk like the other girlies do. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't watched either Summer House or Winter House, but I've seen enough Southern Charm to know.
I've watched a little. Well, it has watched me.
Okay.
I've seen enough of the drama to kind of get. It's like watching Real World, minus the mixing of cultures.
This is what I'm thinking, and I'm thinking of. I know that Austin and Craig, I don't think Craig's still on there, but I think Austin, they were on Winter House. So I know those two characters. And I know
they weren't even a part of the original cast. They were just added to the mix.
Right. And I know how they behave. And I'm like, you're never going to get that out of Black people. So you're going to have to find a different story to tell. You're never going to get us to act not that way, especially Black people with something to actually lose. And these are the whole point, that you got these intelligent people, you got these smart, funny, you know, Black people on TV, and you're not going to get them to cut up like you get the Southern Charm or Winter House, Summer House girlies to do. You're just not going to do it. So what does that look like in a safe space? And like the last thing I wanted to bring up was, we talked about it a little while ago, where it seemed like Rich Dennis was building sort of a media conglomerate. And I hope that, you know, he builds shows that are like this and are fun and show Blackness in a very fun, lighthearted way for an audience that's not just like just trying to put Black people in white shows and trying to make that work. You know what I
like
mean?
reinventing the wheel.
Yeah.
I agree. I think, and shout out to Rich Dennis. Like, if you decide to go with this plan, please hire us. We would love to do a little bit of consulting. That would be fun. As longtime reality viewers,
Love it.
we would like to be guest producers
From real world LA for me. So, you know.
Shoot. But no.
But yeah. I want to see
I
more.
agree with
I
you.
want to see more of us enjoying ourselves. Like, we have shows on OWN, of course, a lot of dating shows and relationship shows on OWN. But I would love to see like younger Black people getting a chance to enjoy themselves in Black spaces where they don't feel like they have to try to be something, or they have producers trying to produce them into being something that they aren't. I would love to see that.
I agree. Y'all drop down in the comments and let us know what your thoughts are on all the list of shows that we've run down. And if you have a difference of opinion, please share that with us. We would love to converse with you in the comments.
Yes.
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have anything you want us to talk about, shoot us an email and we will put it in our next conversations. Until then, bye, friends.
Bye.